If you're a product builder, you often find yourself asking yourself product questions and questions about user behavior, like why did activation drop this week? Or what different cohorts can I split my user group into? Well, Livedocs is just a tool for you. Here's a quick demo of an actual workflow that product managers use. For example, if we ask, why did activation drop last week? And split my users into different cohorts and visualize them. From here, I can point Livedocs at all the relevant data sources that I could think of. Of course, Livedocs will go through your entire data and find other tables, files, and other data sources that are more relevant to answering this question, but it helps to give it a little bit of a nudge. Get some information about my users, event data from Segment or Amplitude, invoices from Stripe, and subscription information should also be helpful here. From here, Livedocs first commits all of its existing work to GitHub, and then asks you any questions it has for clarifying. For example, how do you define activation here? Is it a specific action, like making a first purchase, sending a message, or completing onboarding? Or is it a payment-based event? In my case, just completing onboarding. This helps keep the AI agent on track and make sure it doesn't make any assumptions that might affect the results. From here, Livedocs writes queries, code, browses the web, uses the terminal, spins up subagents, or does anything a real human data scientist would do to find relevant results and levers that support those results. At any point, you can click through and see the actual queries it wrote. Right now, Livedocs is exploring the schema of the product, and it's fixing queries accordingly, and we should have some results shortly. As the results are streamed in, you can actually take a look at some of the results and the visualizations as they're streamed in. For example, a count of all of the events. And it's trying to understand how many of our customers actually completed the onboarding and dig deeper from here. You can see the agent reasoning about as it goes. You can see the activation rate dropping from 76% in late October to 67% recently. Now it's going to dig deeper with SQL queries and Python code to figure out what exactly is happening under the hood. After the raw numbers have been crunched, Livedocs plots visualizations that make it easy to understand trends. For example, the number of users in each activation cohort grouped by company size, or the user distribution by the activation cohort. You can also see that there was a recent dip in weekly activation rate after onboarding was completed. And finally, Livedocs is going to summarize the results, suggest experiments, and also suggest any follow-up prompts and some hypotheses on why activation dropped. For example, in this case, the driver of the drop in activation happens to be that did not actually complete onboarding. So we need to identify some friction points on our onboarding flow and A/B test some alternatives.